Hello and welcome YouTube. Welcome back everybody to the Jank Drawer. We are going to be playing some more Midweek Magic today. I hope you are as excited as I am, as we are going to just pull our ripcords and we are going to jump right in to this week's new Midweek Metagame, which is themed around Secrets of Strixhaven, to the point that we are just going to be playing the jump-in specific to that. This is essentially the arena version of the old paper product that was Jumpstart. There was a long time that they were going to be making Jumpstart packs for every new set release. That was supposed to be their whole tie-in, as just a way to introduce new players to the game. You can get 2 different packs out of a box, and those packs are 20 cards. You put them together, you build one 40-card deck, and you use Battle. They have since discontinued making most of those Jumpstart sets, but they exist in Arena. It's actually a pretty good way if you want to get some really interesting cards, because they have guaranteed rares and mythics in there. They give you a lot of dual lands. If you have gotten into some of the formats like Lorwyn, where shock lands are there, if you pick those Lorwyn archetypes, you can get the shock lands that go in those archetypes. It's a really fun set, and it's a really fun way to play Magic the Gathering, and it's a great way specifically for accounts like ours on the New Account Challenge, or for those of you that are trying to do things with a budget, or are new to the game, or are trying to pick this up. This is a perfect opportunity to, for free, jump in, learn about the set, learn about the mechanics of the set, and be able to have the best experience that you could be able to have. With that being said, there's not really much in the way of a deck building that's going to go today, so I'm going to show you a little bit of the draft, and then we're just going to play our 3 games and our 3 wins and see what we can get. Without further ado, let's jump right into the draft. Okay, we are back, and this is kind of what you should look out for. You're going to have 3 options presented to you. You don't get to know what's in these decks, but you can mouse over and it'll show you 1 key card from that archetype, and usually a 1-word descriptor of what is going on, and you will pick 2 of these decks. They'll shuffle themselves together, and that'll be the deck that you're going to be playing. So our 3 options for our first pick here are Quandrix, featuring Quandrix Charm. This will be built around the blue-green house, or college, from Secrets of Strixhaven. This cares a lot about putting counters on things, doing math, and just changing the base power and toughness of creatures. They're also, of course, generally going to build off of lands. Quandrix Charm here does a lot of the things that you would expect from Quandrix. For 2 mana, you can counter target spell unless it pays 2, destroy target enchantment, or make any target creature into a 5/5 until end of turn. That's pretty good. But we also have some lesser supported archetypes. These are our monocolored archetypes that are going to try and fit together to be a good companion piece to one of your colleges. For us, we have Grave, which has Wander Off, which is just a 4-mana instant that exiles a creature. Or Scribe, with Eager Glyphmage, a 4-mana 3/3 that when it enters, make a 1/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. Of these, Scribe and Grave leave us the most open to any other monocolored pack we pick up being potentially really good for us. Quandrix plants a flag, but it's a very powerful flag. So I think we are going to start with Quandrix. And then for packet 2, we can pair with that into Field Trip, which give us Emil Vastlands Roamer, 3-mana 3/3, creatures with counters on them have trample, and then for 5 mana and tap it, we can make a green and blue fractal creature token that is 0/0 and put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of differently named lands we control. So unless we can get some lands in our deck that are not basics, this is going to at most be kind of 2. We could also go with Aesthetic, which gives us Orisa Tide Choreographer. This 5-mana 2/2 costs 3 less to cast if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, and when it enters, we draw 2 cards. That's honestly pretty good. Or we can get Silverquill, which gives us Abigail Poet Laureate, 3-mana 2/3 with flying. Whenever you cast a creature spell, Abigail becomes prepared, and then Heroic Stanza, 1 and a hybrid white-black, put a counter on target creature as a sorcery. This is one of the best uncommons in the set. I'm going to do a set review at some point over all of the cards in the set and my thoughts on them in a lot of different formats. But in Limited especially, this is one of the best cards you could be doing. Unfortunately, because we didn't pick either of the 2 options that were ahead of us, we are kind of priced into not taking Silverquill here. And so it's more, do we think we can get a lot of different lands? Or do we think it's more likely we can get a lot of toughness? And I think that a lot of toughness and aesthetic is probably better for our deck in a vacuum. With that, we can now look at what our deck is going to look like ahead of our games. We have Fractalize, X and a blue. Until end of turn, target creature becomes a green-blue fractal with base power types equal to X plus 1. Procrastinate, tap target creature, put stun counters on it. We've got a bunch of counter spells. We have a lot of creatures with big toughness, which is nice because that'll help work with our Orisa. Cuboid Colony, 2 mana 1/1 with flash and flying, trample and increment. Increment whenever you cast a spell. If the amount of mana spent to cast that is greater than this creature's power or toughness, put a counter on this creature. Terrafractal, X green blue flying. It enters with X plus 1/1 counters, and when it enters, you gain 2 life. Matter Bending Mage, when it enters, bounce a creature to its owner's hand, and when you cast a spell with X in its mana cost, it can't be blocked. We only have 1 X spell, but it is a very good one in our Terrafractal. Skycoach Conductor is one of our rares. It's a 3 mana 2/3 with flash, flying, and vigilance. It enters prepared, and then for a single blue mana, we can cast the instant All Aboard. Exile target non-pilot creature you control, then return that card onto the battlefield under its owner's control. So it just lets us blink one of our creatures. Textbook Tabulator, 3 mana 0/3 with increment. Paradox Surveyor, 3 mana 3/3 creature, elf druid with reach. When it enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library, reveal a land or a card with X in its mana cost from among them, put it into your hand, the rest of the bottom in random order. Canvas Composer, 4 mana 3/4 ward 2 that for 5 mana makes a 3/3 flyer is not bad. Run Behind, just a removal spell. Apply Geometry is another rare. Create a token that's copied target non-aura permanent you control, except it is a 0/0 fractal in addition to its other types, and it's a 6/6. That seems pretty good. Proctor's Gaze, bounce a creature, and then put a land into the battlefield tapped. Love that. Tam, Observant Sequencer, 4 mana 4/3 with landfall. Whenever a land enters, it becomes prepared, and then for 2 mana, a green and a blue, we draw a card and gain a life. Embrace the Paradox, 5 mana, draw 3 cards, put a land into the battlefield tapped, and then Fractal Tender, 5 mana 3/3 ward 2 increment. At the beginning of each end step, if you put a counter on this creature, create a fractal and put 3 counters on it. And then our biggest spell, Homesickness, 6 mana, target player draws 2 cards, tap 2 target creatures, and put a stun counter on each of them. So, we've got a plan. I don't know that our plan is necessarily good, but we are going to try and go just value, draw a whole bunch of cards, make a whole bunch of tokens, make some big creatures, and see how far that gets us. I will be back, as always, with game number 1. We have found our first game! It is going to be us against Like Agiani, Standard Bearer. We both have Vivians. Their Vivian looks way cooler than ours. So this is a hand that does nothing. We luckily get a free mulligan, so hopefully we get a hand that does something. This is a hand that does something. This is a hand that does something pretty good too. We can play our tap land on 1, and then we can hold up Essence Scatter or Muse Seeker. I think we will play this Muse Seeker. Our opponent hasn't done anything yet other than draw 2 cards, so we might as well play a 1/2. They are in Boros, or as Strixhaven like to call it, Lorehole. This is a very graveyard-centric deck. That's why they're playing cards with flashback. It's all about playing cards out of your graveyard and getting effects for cards leaving your graveyard, as well as making spirit tokens. They are fantasy archaeologists, essentially, is their whole shtick. Rubble Rouser. When it enters, discard a card if you draw a card, exile a card from a graveyard, and add a red mana. When you do, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. I think we'll just play this 3/3 with Reach. Grab land number 4. Forest we grabbed. Dig Site Inventory is what they discarded. It puts a counter on a creature they control, and they gain Vigilance until end of turn, and they can flash it back for a single white. Currently, they don't have any payoff for cards leaving their graveyard, but they do have a way to remove cards from their graveyard in this Rebel Rouser that is a little bit problematic. Spirit Call Enthusiast, okay. I think at this point it's worth holding up this Essence Scatter and this Procrastinate. Just to have the opportunity to be able to do different things. This is a sorcery, this is a sorcery. So they don't have anything that they can do currently that we know of in their graveyard. I just want to tap our Surveyor on our turn. Okay, that's fine. We kind of want to try and blow them out here. Them trying to tap out to play like a 6-drop, if we can Essence Scatter it. That would be kind of great. Hero is just good, I think. So I think we will want to just Essence Scatter Kirill. I think we can get rid of one of the Matter Bending Mages for this. Now, a really cool thing to do here would be to Spirit Call Enthusiast, and then let me tap your Spirit Call Enthusiast. I will just block this. Debate Moderator. I think we Matter Bending Mage. We'll bounce the Spirit Call Enthusiast. Tap the Rabble Rouser. It turns off them being able to grow their Ennis Debate Moderator. They of course can play their Spirit Call Enthusiast, but it's not prepared, so they can't do a buff with it. They can exile things just with the stuff that's in their graveyard already. And honestly, now I'm wishing we hadn't gotten rid of our other Matter Bending Mage, because eventually bouncing this Ennis is going to be a really good way to deal with it. Campus Composer. They want to block, they can block, I'll trade. Their NS is tapped forever. Campus Composer is good. Either way, we can play this Orisa to draw cards as well. Aqueous Aria might honestly even be a better use of our mana. It really depends on what our opponent does here. Because, like, this is just a 5-mana 2/2 that draws us 2 cards. But also, they don't have any way to deal with a flyer currently, so a 3/3 flyer in the air will be really good. Four mana to untap their NS is also pretty good. Ooh. As I said, I think we'll just play this 3/3. Honestly, I don't think we want to fractalize, just because it makes... There's no good fractalize target for us. If we fractalize this NS, it's just a 4/4, because even if we pay X equals 0... Oh... They are going to get back their Kirill with their Lorhol Charm. That is gross. Their Rabble Rouser to start turning on their NS and their Kirill. The synergy here is kind of out of this world. Or they can just pay retail for it. This still lets them... Antiquities on the loose. They make spirits and then put counters on all of their spirits. Hack-a-Punch is going to be good. This Fractalize can also be a win condition, in that if we can just gain enough mana, we can eventually fractalize this Matter Bending Mage to the point that it is so big that it kills anything. Whether it kills our opponent because it can't be blocked. What 2-mana spell could our opponent have to blow us out here? I will triple block this NS. Killed our flyer, which makes sense. Of the options, it was definitely the best one. 2/2. Let's play Orisa, draw 2 cards. We can always fractalize their Acolyte into being a 1/1 or their Kirill, or just kind of really anything. Honestly, the answer is we're going to fractalize whatever they eventually Kirill history buff, Pack-a-Punch. So this Shattered Acolyte, so that we can kill the Shattered Acolyte with this Campus Composer. We'd like to tabulator and then fractalize, but like beggars, choosers, and all that. So they're gonna Antiquities on the loose, get a billion triggers. Pass to attackers. The blockers, we will block with this. We will fractalize. We'll make you a 3/3. Play this 0/3. So the annoying thing is that this Kirill can just Pack-a-Punch something literally every turn, and we don't really have an answer for that. Which is unfortunate. Yeah, like that. The answer to this one is that these are tokens, so we eventually are going to get some bounce spells that we can use to bounce these. Or 3 Flying Vigilance for 3 mana and exile 2 cards. They're just gonna let me lose my 3/4? Yeah, there we go. Make this into a 1/4. Put this land into the battlefield. Next turn we can play Tam and Forest and Terrafractal. I don't know that we're going to get a next turn, but we're going to try. See, I don't think we can make a Terrafractal bigger than they can make a Soaring Stone Glider, is our current problem. So we need to find a way to live through the 15 damage that they're going to deal. And a great way to do that would be if we could find a bounce spell. I know we have a lot of them in our deck. That's not a bounce spell, but it is a spell that gets us out of this specific situation. Which is nice. We'll pass the turn. If I'm my opponent here, I Rubble Rouser just to deal the 1 damage and activate Kirill again. Our plan is that whatever they activate their Kirill on, that is what we are going to Homesickness. advantageous blocks otherwise. So Pack-a-Punch is gonna go there. I would like to draw 2 cards, tap your 2 flyers, increment my textbook tabulator into a 3/6. Honestly, 2 lands, kind of dope. I don't know why this Ascendant Dust Speaker went into my opponent's graveyard. Oh, it's because Kirill mills them a card, that's how. Of course, you can still Pack-a-Punch many, many more times. That, oh, Molten Note, there it is. It untaps all creatures you control. It didn't do that, so... you have a 5/5 with trample, and I have a 3/6. So I will just block with my 3/6. We've got 3, 5, so 8. No, we have 9, so we'll play X equals 9. I would like to make a 10/9 flyer. And gain 2 life. Now the Molten Note is going to be an issue. Because I think they can just... Oh, well, they can just do that. Cool. Well, not a great start, but we can always try to learn from this and come back with another one. Okay, welcome back. Now, if we draw a green card, green source, insane deck. No guarantees that we do that. So we'll be disciplined and we'll mulligan. This is just the same hand but better. We're perfect. Since we can view our Cuboid Colony, we've got our Matter Bending Mage, we've got our TAM, Observant Sequencer. This is just great. We'll play Forest. Our opponent has started with Swamp, so they are playing Witherbloom. Leech Collector, this card is the house. Just 1 mana, each opponent loses 2 life. But to gain it, to prepare to that, they have to be able to gain a life, which currently they have not done. We are going to play this Cuboid Colony and hope that they don't have a removal spell that they were holding up for it. They do not. And because they do not... Honestly, I think... Matter Bending Mage. Bounce their Leech Collector. There's a million removal spells at 3 in green-black, so I'm not expecting my Cuboid Colony to live through this. Yeah. Quite literally, that is one of them. One mana instant. buff their creature, kill my 1/1. Like, that would have even gotten through my Quandrix Charm. So that's just, like... Our poor insect was doomed from the beginning. Let's play Tam, Observant Sequencer. If they would like to block my Waterbending Mage, Matterbending Mage, they can. I am largely thinking, oh, they are. Oh, well, there you go. Now it's just hold on to our Tam, try to keep him alive. Quandrix Charm, Procrastinate, Run Behind. Brave Researcher. This is one of the best cards in this set. 3 mana, 3/3. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1, and if you have 3 or more creatures in your graveyard, it becomes prepared. And then prepared is it just reanimates. We don't have anything to do with those, so we are just going to pay X equals 1 and tap down their Grave Researcher. So we can always run behind it later. As well as now we're just holding up our Quandrix Charm, and we're just trying to push damage. So this is a really good rare. Now, the one thing I will say is that normally when you play jump-in events on Arena, you will get to keep the cards that you open. Specifically, this one is Phantom, so you won't have to keep any of the cards that you open in this format. We do not want you to kill my creature. Deep Sight, draw a card. The Lumerant can get bounced. Brave Researcher, do you want to put a 3rd creature in your graveyard? You do. Is there anything worth reanimating out of their graveyard? Kind of only the creature that's a removal spell? Which is unfortunate because that kills our Tam. Pass the turn. Use our Homesickness. Wow! And they have Witherbloom the Balancer. Okay. I would have accepted Quandrix in our deck. That would have been neat. We will target me to draw 2 cards. We'll target Bogwater, Lumerant, and Grave Researcher. Witherbloom the Balancer, really? All of their last casts and things are going to be essentially free now. We'll play Fractal Tender. And I would like to procrastinate their Witherbloom the Balancer. The lucky thing we have going for us is they are not putting creatures into their graveyard, which is nice. But they did just get rid of our only creature, so... not great. So once again, we found another opponent that I think has gotten a better deck than us. And that is unfortunate, because I do think we have just lost this game. So I'll try to kind a single win, but we might just end up calling the video here. But this has been, so far, a great learning experience. We are playing against an opponent whose name I cannot read, because I do not speak Japanese. This is an unkeepable hand. This is a much better hand. This hand doesn't really do anything other than buy us time, hopefully, to play creatures in the future. This specifically is pretty bad for us in the fact that Elite Interceptor is one of the better answers to our current Procrastinate plan. Scolding Administrator also one of the better cards, just because it triggers whenever you target any creature, yours or your opponent's. This is a very good card. So like this Rejoinder is going to be very good for them. Barok Baymaker, okay. We'd like our opponent to tap out in some way. They will draw their 3/3. Okay, now our only real play is playing our Cuboid Colony in our opponent's end step and then applied geometrying our Cuboid Colony. But I also don't love that plan because there's a million spells in these colors that will kill my Cuboid Colony for 1 mana or less, or for 2 mana or less. So we need them to. We know they aren't drawing a land. So if they play their Rehearsed Debater, they are limited to only playing their Rehearsed Debater next turn, because they won't have a 4th land. Okay. So this is actually kind of massive. We know we are going to be able to get this Cuboid Colony, and we know we are going to be able to get a second Cuboid Colony. We take 4, we go to our turn. We applied geometry. I have 2 Cuboid Colonies, both of which are big, comparatively. Next turn, if we can survive this turn, we can Matter Bending Mage Orisa. If they're tapping down my 6/6, that is a place I want to be. Yes, I'm going to take a lot of damage from it, but they can block this. We can still get out of this alive. We'd like to not see a way that kills our Cuboid Colony, if at all possible, please. They didn't kill our Cuboid Colony. Okay. Then I will Matter Bending Mage. Get increment to this Cuboid Colony. will bounce their Scolding Administrator. Reset the counters on it, and then we can Orisa. Proctor's Gaze and Hydro Channeler. Okay. Proctor's Gaze will... We want to do this next turn then. Because that'll get our Cuboid Colony. And we are now... We have enough blockers that, like, yeah, we are in the business of trying to overcome this deficit. And we just have to block this Rehearsed Debater no matter what, kind of, next turn. Our opponent has hit Runner, land. Stirring Honormancer. 5 mana, 4/5. Gets you cards. Lets you see cards off the top of your library. One in your hand, 2 in the graveyard. They got rid of their Abigail and a Sneering Shade Rider. So I'm actually kind of hugely pumped about that. We'll play a 1/3. Back in their hand. Bring our opponent down to 1 and put the land into play. Okay, and there we go. We got a win. We can end on a win. That's a good place to be. And I'll play some more after the back. But the video's already going to be long enough at this point, so I think we are just going to do these, and then we'll of course look at our reward. The big rewards, free rares. This is the whole reason that we do this, is so that we can get the free rares, because it's the way to grow the account, and it is just literally free. There's no downside. You just get to play Magic the Gathering, and they give you a free rare, which is like the equivalent of $5 US. So I mean, you get 2 of them for this. That's $10 US. It's great, and for us. Our reward is Enduring Courage. That's actually like a really cool card. It doesn't see a ton of play anymore outside of like weird niche combos, but it is still very nice. Just 4 mana 3/3. Whenever another creature enters, it gets +2/+0 and haste until end of turn. Is a really good ability. It's also got all of the enduring text of whenever it dies, if it was a creature, it comes back as an enchantment. It is really impossible to remove these permanents. This is a really good pickup. There are better endurings. We would have liked to see the blue one, the green one, or maybe even the white one. But this is a really interesting card and a good pickup for the account. With that, we're going to call it here for the video. I'm going to play the rest of these offline, just because it's worth getting that for the account to get another rare. But the video's gone on long enough. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a comment, like, subscribe. Every little bit helps. We've been having a lot of fun here. And also, I wish you the best of luck on your own journeys as you continue to try and either get new into the format or get new into the accounts in the arena. There's a lot of fun to be had in Magic, and I hope that you enjoy joining me on my journey as I enjoy it myself. Until next time, I have been Sam. This has been the Jank Drawer. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next video.